Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Could this one missing mineral be causing your health conditions, your fat gain, your thyroid issues, your heart health, your skin, your wrinkles? It could, and most people are depleted. Welcome to Accelerated Health with SaraBanta, where I cut through the noise and fast track your journey to better health. I'm your host, SaraBanta, CEO and founder of Accelerated Health Products and certified by the National Association of Nutritional Professionals. I'm here to share the latest on supplements, wellness hacks, and natural health solutions that actually work. Imagine that, from boosting energy to detoxing to balancing your hormones and everything in between. I will help you reach your optimal health. So let's dive in. We're talking about copper versus zinc, the trace mineral that your body might be craving. And in a world of nutritional deficiencies, due to the soils being totally depleted, environmental toxins blocking the absorption of the little nutrients that you're actually getting in your body, and then disrupting the liver health and your gut health, inhibiting that nutritional assimilation. So it's not just about what you're taking in, but what is your body doing with those nutrients that it is getting? There's this emphasis on supplementing with minerals. And one of the ones that most people think about is zinc, especially during the pandemic, especially during the winter months when it's cold and flu season. And yes, zinc is necessary, but it might not be the one you should be focused on. What is copper? It isn't that you don't need zinc, but zinc and copper are like this teeter-totter. They need each other in a very delicate way, but too much of one can affect the other. And due to the high consumption of processed foods, that accelerates copper depletion. Your body uses up more copper if it's eating these ultra-processed foods. Anything in a bag, anything with a label, it's processed. And then also, due to the high supplementation of zinc, people are more copper depleted than ever. That's why it actually might be a cause of your health conditions. Most of you are suffering from slow thyroid, a lot of heart diseases out there. Insulin resistance is skyrocketing. Your skin. People are using more fillers and Botox and hair extensions than ever because their skin is more wrinkly. It doesn't have that nice collagen or elastin. And hey, maybe you're taking a collagen supplement and you think you're wasting money because it's not doing any good. Well, you need copper for all of those things to go in the right direction. So let's talk about that perfect balance. Zinc and copper work together. Too much of zinc can push copper down, and if copper's too high, it can suppress zinc. So you want to think of them as two sides of a seesaw, both necessary, always needing to stay in balance. Also, like Goldilocks, not too much, not too little. You need just the right amount of both. So it is a little complicated, I agree. So why do we need zinc? Well, zinc has gained a lot of attention because it has a major role in boosting immunity, recovering from stress, who's not stressed, and overcoming illnesses. But the benefits don't end there. It's needed for tissue repair, skin health, thyroid function, and even hormonal balance. Even your sense of smell and taste may suffer if you're low in zinc. You wonder, during the pandemic, all those people that lost their smell, was that due to low zinc and then the actual virus taking it down even more? Maybe. So what are the foods that are high in zinc? Oysters. I don't eat oysters. Beef. Yes. Pumpkin seeds. Lamb. I love my lamb. Chicken. I don't like my chicken because it's full of amyloid. So some of these foods might be high in zinc, but they have other issues with them, so you're not going to want to eat them. Lentils, which are full of plant poisons and lectins and other things, maybe mold that could be inhibiting the absorption of any of the nutrients. Hemp seeds, same thing. Yogurt and kefir, a lot of people can't do dairy. Eggs, yes, but Those egg whites are viral. What does that mean? That means that if you have a virus in your body, the egg whites are going to actually make it grow. And egg yolks are full of sulfur. And if you haven't heard me talk about sulfur, sulfur can disrupt your detox pathways in your liver and causing a whole host of other issues. Crab and lobster. Yes, great. How often are you eating crab and lobster? So that's why we need a supplement. But even when you're consuming the foods, people tend to be zinc deficient if they're dealing with chronic stress, gut or nutritional absorption issues, or eating most plant-based diets. Most plant-based foods, like I mentioned, are high in phytates, plant poisons that block zinc absorption. So like I said, it doesn't matter how much the food actually has. What is your body taking in and actually absorbing, right? So then we need to look at copper. So too much zinc can backfire. And we've got that zinc and copper, they compete for the same absorption pathway. So number one, if you're taking both, you want to take them at 2 different times a day. And too much zinc can cause copper deficiency. So usually copper deficiency symptoms are masked and blamed on something else. Anemia. What do you think about anemia? Iron deficiency, right? No, we're going to get into that in a minute. Bone abnormalities. Bone abnormalities could be from a lack of magnesium or other minerals. Neuropathy, low numbers of white blood cells, low immune system, right? We're thinking about low immune system and you need more zinc or vitamin C. Maybe it's copper. Stunted growth, premature graying of hair, skin paleness. So it also doesn't just affect your wrinkles, but it affects the color of your skin. So although it's not usually in the spotlight, I'm bringing it out because I call it the hidden hero behind so many issues in your body. So number one, lowers oxidative stress. I always say inflammation, oxidative stress, the 2 things that cause you to die and die fast. Well, without copper, the body struggles to neutralize those free radicals, the unstable molecules that damage DNA and trigger chronic inflammation. And when copper's low, it leads to cellular dysfunction, poor insulin sensitivity, and ultimately insulin resistance. That's why they're connecting it actually to type 2 diabetes. You know, we are in a world where so many people have unexplained insulin resistance. Oh my gosh, Sara, I don't eat sugar. I don't eat processed foods, and I have insulin resistance. Why? Well, there's a reason. Copper also supports pregnancy. It is so important for those little babies. It is essential for their nervous system, cardiovascular health, and the bone development. Without copper, fetal development can be delayed or compromised. It causes hair to become gray and even the color of your eyes to dull. Did you know your color of your eyes changes as you get older, just like your hair? But no one talks about the eye color. Well, that comes from copper. It helps with the melanin production, which is the pigment needed for the color of your hairs, your eyes, and your skin. It activates the enzyme tyronase that makes melanin, which with zinc, copper preserves the eye color and skin tone with age. So you need both. Copper is known as the brain food for a reason. It is needed for your brain. It forms the neural pathways that control creativity, memory, and mood. It plays a direct role in that neurotransmitter synthesis, helping your brain cells communicate effectively. And with optimal copper levels, you'll experience sharper thinking, faster recall, better focus, and possibly better mood. Who doesn't need that? It helps with the formation of the myelin sheath, the protective coating around the nerves that allow the electrical signals to move efficiently, and it helps prevent brain fog, memory lapses, and even cognitive decline. Now, the next one, energy production. When you're tired and you're fatigued and the doctor says, oh, you're anemic. That ran in my family. I was anemic. My daughter was anemic, supplemented with this iron supplement and this iron supplement. And oh my goodness, did nothing. Absolutely nothing until we started supplementing with copper. Copper works with iron to form the red blood cells and deliver oxygens to the cells. Most people believe that anemia is from iron deficiency, but it's actually from copper deficiency. It's necessary to activate the enzymes like ceruloplasmin and hephaestin, which convert iron into the form that binds it to transferrin, the main protein that carries iron through the bloodstream. So without this oxidation step, iron cannot leave the intestinal cells or be delivered to where it's needed. So essentially, copper gets the iron to where it needs to go. You got plenty of iron in your body. So it doesn't matter how much iron you have if there isn't copper to take it to the places it's needed. And if there isn't enough copper, the iron builds up in tissues like the liver that can't be released into circulation. Too much iron in the liver can cause fatty liver disease, high cholesterol, slow thyroid, your liver just to be backed up and not be able to process all of the toxins that it is being bombarded with from the environment and from the EMFs and all the things I always talk about. As a result, the hemoglobin production drops and results in anemia that is unaffected by however much iron supplementation you do. So it doesn't even matter. That copper is also need for your immune system. So remember, you're all focused on zinc for immunity, but you actually need copper. It regulates inflammation and oxidative stress. It's part of the body's natural immune system. It's necessary for the activity of enzymes involved with immunity, including superoxide dismutase that neutralizes free radicals and protects white blood cells from oxidative damage, lysyl oxidase, which helps prevent pathogens from spreading, and then the ceruloplasmin, which not only regulates iron, but also is an antioxidant for the immune cells. But then the fun one, collagen. As a woman that's 49, I want my collagen. I want my skin to look plump. I don't want to be doing Botox, right? Well, you can take all the collagen supplements you want. Does nothing without copper. Copper is a key ingredient for collagen and elastin production, the very thing that is needed for firm skin, flexible joints, connective tissues. And as I already mentioned, it's needed for that lysyl oxidase, which cross-links collagen and elastin fibers and gives connective tissues its structure, especially in the skin, the tendons, and the ligaments. And it stimulates that angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels, encouraging the production of fibroblasts. Why do we need that? Well, those are the cells that synthesize collagen during tissue repair. And as a result, it helps with the wound healing, skin elasticity, collagen regeneration, and reducing those wrinkles in the skin. It also helps with the formation of elastin and gives that skin the plumpness, the ability to stretch and recoil. So when you pull the skin off your hand, it doesn't just stay there, but it goes right back. Remember when you were young and it would do that, and now it doesn't do it so quick? Well, that's collagen. And then thyroid health. Okay, we talk about iodine for thyroid. We talk about supporting the thyroid with maybe some glandular. And a lot of you are on thyroid medication thinking that's gonna fix the problem, the miracle pill, right? It actually could backfire on you. And you may just need copper. So why? Well, along with iodine, selenium, and zinc, copper helps regulate the conversion of the inactive thyroid hormone T4 into the active thyroid hormone free T3. That is your metabolism. Doesn't matter how much you have of the T4, right? Copper supports the enzyme systems and the mitochondrial activity needed to activate and transport your thyroid hormones effectively. So getting them to where they need to go. Without copper, T4 may stay inactive, never converting into that T3, which is the fat burning, the metabolism, your energy. And without it, your body won't fully respond or be receptive to thyroid hormones, leading to the hypothyroidism symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, water retention, hair loss, brittle nails, eyebrows thinning, cold intolerance, all of those things are saying your thyroid's not working, which is going to affect your adrenals, your sex organs, and so many other things. Copper also plays a huge part in regulating the HPT axis, the hypothalamus pituitary thyroid axis. Copper deficiency can disrupt the signaling, leading to an under or overactive thyroid. And if your metabolism is slow, you have unexplained fatigue or weight gain, it might be that copper deficiency. And then to go along with that, in a secondary way, it could be causing your fat gain and the inability to have fat loss if you're deficient in copper. It is overlooked as a fat loss and weight management mineral, but its role is huge, not just with the thyroid, but separate from that. It activates fat burning enzymes involved in lipolysis, the process of breaking down fat, and it's also essential for enzymes that drive mitochondrial energy production. Our energy comes from our mitochondria, comes from that ATP inside the mitochondria. So once there's more mitochondrial energy, there's more fat being burned as fuel. And then copper regulates that unbound iron that we were talking about, which leads to oxidative stress. Essentially, if you have too much iron that's unbound, you're rusting from the inside out. And that's going to lead to oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which contribute to insulin resistance away from the sugar you're eating and that stubborn fat storage. It is so important for your cardiovascular health. How many of you, after the pandemic, know somebody with heart issues? It could be copper deficiency, right? Copper supports the integrity of the blood vessels, healthy cholesterol levels are going up, and then the arterial flexibility. Copper deficiency has been linked to higher LDL, the bad cholesterol, and lower HDL, the good cholesterol, as it regulates HDL, LDL, and your triglycerides. As copper is a required cofactor for the lysyl oxidase that we've talked about and affects collagen and elastin. Collagen and elastin aren't just for your skin, but they're the proteins that make blood vessels strong and flexible. As we get older, everything gets more stiff, right? So this maintains the arterial elasticity. And without it, the blood vessels become stiff and prone to damage. Copper deficiency can also result in cardiac hypertrophy, arrhythmias, heart failure symptoms. So where do we get our copper? What foods are high in copper? Well, beef liver. Yeah. Are you eating your beef liver? I have my ancestral blend venison every day, so I might be getting a little bit. That's one of the natural highest sources, but I'm guessing you're not eating it. Oysters, they're really high in zinc and copper. I don't eat oysters. Dark chocolate. However, dark chocolate is full of oxalates that could be inhibiting the absorption of the copper. Cashews, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds. When you're talking about the nuts and the seeds, they can be full of mold. You could have an issue with fat metabolism where you can't actually break down the fats in these foods. Mushrooms. Well, mushrooms are full of mold, so you might have a sensitivity to that. Chickpeas, that could be okay, but it could have lectins that could bother you or other plant poisons. Avocados are good. They're high histamine. Whole grains, those are high in copper, but they could cause leaky gut, steal other nutrients out, and actually inhibit the nutrient absorption. So all of these foods, except for the beef and the liver and the oysters, have something that could be an issue with you. Now, I'm not saying all these foods are an issue with you. You just need to know, gosh, am I feeling icky when I eat this food? Do I get bloated or constipated or have a breakout? Those are signs to look for. So this is where you want to possibly supplement. And like I said, most people are deficient in copper due to the processed foods, due to the pandemic and the spike protein depleting copper out of the body very fast. Most people have a little bit of leaky gut, And so you just don't know what you're taking in. And that's why we came out with accelerated scalar copper. We did so during the pandemic for a reason. Most people needed it. And this is something that I stand behind because of the absorption, the efficacy, and the quality. Like any supplement on the market, not just copper, you have to be discerning with what you choose, as most supplements are filled with toxins or fillers or preservatives, or even have a high mold or bacteria count that could actually cause the supplement to backfire. And so this is where the accelerated scalar copper is unmatched. Most copper supplements get about 5 to 10% absorption. Accelerated scalar copper can achieve up to 99% absorption, and it doesn't need to go down in the gut. You absorb it in your mouth. So even if you have leaky gut, it still gets into your body. I mean, amazing, isn't it? So the benefits don't just stop there. Unlike the cheap copper supplements, the accelerated scalar copper is nano-sized particle, skips the digestion that can be ineffective, goes straight to work at the cells. It's completely free from additives, preservatives, binders, just pure, clean, liquid copper that you could actually spray on your skin to help with the brown spots and the collagen and the elastin, all the fun stuff. It's safe for sensitive people. It is buffered to avoid the nausea or irritation that you might feel. And that enhancement of scalar technology is unmatched. No other company does it. It helps drive the copper into the cells, and the scalar frequencies are actually meant to balance the zinc and copper in your body. Imagine that. So as you can see, both copper and zinc are vital, right? You need both, but they're like Goldilocks. Not too much, not too little, and you need this balance. And it also depends on your current state of health. So hopefully this drove in the point that copper is not something to miss and to overlook and to take it for granted. Thanks for tuning in to Accelerated Health with SaraBanta. I hope you learned something today and you have some inspiration to take the next step on your health journey. Head to SaraBantaHealth.com for health articles. Join the free group coaching on Telegram where you can ask your questions, and I post tips and tools every day. You can shop for the accelerated scalar copper or any of the other supplements at Accelerated Health Products and use coupon podcast10 on your first order. Share this with a friend. Most of you and most of your friends are depleted of copper. They're probably a little tired. Their hair's falling out. Their skin's a little more wrinkly. It might be a copper deficiency. If you could subscribe, leave a review, doing this will help this podcast reach more people. You can find this podcast, Accelerated Health with SaraBanta, on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, iHeartRadio, and over 100 different platforms. And remember, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.